just putting existing assets on the blockchain. So the focus here is on innovation and to hopefully show and demonstrate that there is innovation in security tokens and there are new and exciting things that are going on. So Sebastian, kick it off.
Yeah, so, sorry, that was a bit too fast. My name is Sebastian, I'm co-founder and CTO of Validity Labs. So we've been around pretty much literally since Ethereum DevCon 1. Started with education in the space, and we're building quite some things. And obviously what we were building also quite a bit was tokens, right? And what we've seen in the past year, and which is what I want to briefly talk about, is what happened to tokens and the innovation and R&D that we've seen in the token space, which we take out to the real world, right? That's already there, that did not care so far about crypto. And to really enable that, in Switzerland there's some movement going on right now on these so-called DLT rights. And I want to briefly talk about what this is and how you can implement that today. So this kind of legal framework has been published in Switzerland end of March, and the political system of Switzerland works a little bit different from here. So basically a law is being presented to the public, which can then comment. You can, by the way, also do that. You don't have to be in Switzerland, you can just comment on it. And aims to basically increase the legal certainty around tokenized investments in traditional shares. Right? Because there's a large number of investors which just cannot invest in utility token payment tokens. So we expect that this will come into effect in around 1.5 years to 2 years. One important thing is that it is principle-based. So you will not see the word blockchain in there. You will not see the word Ethereum in there, because things are supposed to be kind of neutral. Also, it's kind of lean compared to Liechtenstein. It's just an 80 pages thing. So if you are kind of into this, you will be able to follow it. Now, what does it actually comprise? It does not, for example, compared to other jurisdictions, your DLT right, which you're issuing, does not require a formal audit, right? So you don't get governmental sign-off. It provides you with protection in case of an insolvency case of the custodian. And this is important if you're a fund and want to invest in these things and there's some custodian going bankrupt. You of course should make sure that your tokens that you're holding are not part of an insolvency mess. And what is also important to mention is that this is about centralized trading, right? So centralized trading venues are controlled under this law. Decentralized exchanges are not being touched by this, and I think this is quite helpful. Now, briefly, if we have these rights, and hopefully this will come in effect in about 1.5 years, how would we do this? Could we use the amazing technology that we talk about here, Ethereum, public chains, right? Can we use that stuff? And the answer is, and here we worked with our friends from Homburger, it's the largest M&A firm, legal law firm in Switzerland, and the answer is yes, you can. And I want to present briefly a couple of core features that I like quite a bit about it. So basically we built this thing on Ethereum as a smart contract ensemble, which you can basically pick pieces and assemble them however you need them, right? So we have the token, which is a shareholder register. We have a whitelist for compliant dividend claims. The nice thing I would like to point out here is that tokens are freely transferable. Now, why is this cool? Because we can use all the DEXs, we can use 0x, we can use all the infrastructure that we have being compliant with the law. So only if you claim your dividend at that point in time, you need to be on a whitelist, right? Or if you wanted to do some voting, then you need to be on a whitelist, but you can freely transfer your token, and the law is not standing in the way of kind of our decentralized trading of shares, which I find really remarkable. Now specifically, so basically you can take these Lego pieces and combine them, right? And you can also go then in a second dimension on the token. So it's an ERC20 token. It needs to be pausable, and it's kind of important that the board of the company will have some centralized power, and maybe also there just briefly point out you're investing in a company which is not arbitrarily decentralized. But what this will provide is kind of, in my eyes, a graceful transition to a DAOization. So today we do need, for example, this forced transfer. So for example, if somebody is insolvent, the board of the company needs to be able, upon court order, to transfer shares away from you. And I do understand this is a centralized component, but that's simply what companies today are required to do. Document registry, so you can link some documents such as the articles of association to your token, and as before mentioned, the whitelist for dividend and voting. But this is, again, not required for transfers. And a snapshot mechanism, some of you might have seen these implementation. We recently got it merged into the Open Zeppelin library that allows us to track past token balances in order to claim a dividend on a record date. Yeah, and with that, I think we can